In the cold, dark depths of space, a massive station drifted silently, its metallic hull covered in layers of space dust and cosmic radiation. Inside, rows of suspended animation chambers hummed with a soft, almost imperceptible energy. J. Park's chamber was different from the others, a sophisticated genetic preservation unit that held the last remnants of human potential. The station's systems had been programmed for one purpose: to wait. 50,000 years had passed since the Galactic Council's brutal destruction of Earth, a moment that should have been humanity's final chapter. But some had other plans. Jay's eyes flickered beneath closed eyelids. Quantum neural networks began their slow activation, processing centuries of stored data. Around him, 30 carefully selected humans began to stir. They were not ordinary survivors, but a carefully engineered generation designed for one ultimate goal: revenge. The preservation chamber's artificial intelligence, a complex system named Aria, began its awakening protocol. Soft blue lights illuminated the chamber, revealing rows of genetically enhanced humans. Each had been modified to survive the harshest conditions, with enhanced physical capabilities and neural networks that could process information faster than any known species in the galaxy. Yoon Kim, the mission's lead geneticist, was the first to fully awaken. Her fingers moved across holographic interfaces, checking the preservation systems. Every detail of humanity's destruction had been recorded, studied, and memorized. The Galactic Council believed they had completely erased human existence, but they had made one critical mistake: they underestimated human resilience. The station itself was a marvel of hidden technology. Quantum shielding made it invisible to any known scanning technology. Its location was a carefully guarded secret, buried deep in a region of space that most galactic civilizations had long forgotten. Decades of preparation, decades of waiting, had led to this moment. Jay's awakening was different. As his consciousness fully activated, holographic memories flooded his mind: the last moments of Earth, the betrayal of the Galactic Council, the systematic destruction of human civilization. Each memory was a fuel, a burning desire for retribution that had been carefully preserved and nurtured through generations. System check complete, Aria's calm voice echoed through the chamber. Genetic integrity at 99.998%. All 30 primary units operational. Yoon approached Jay's chamber, her eyes reflecting a mixture of scientific precision and deep emotional purpose. They were more than just survivors, they were the architects of humanity's ultimate comeback. Each of them carried not just genetic modifications, but the collective knowledge and trauma of a species that refused to be erased. The station's technology was unlike anything the current galactic civilization could comprehend. Quantum storage systems held not just genetic information, but complete cultural archives. Languages, technologies, historical records, everything that made humans unique had been carefully preserved. They weren't just planning to return, they were planning to demonstrate why humanity was a species unlike any other. Outside the station, the vast emptiness of space held no secrets. Navigation systems had been continuously updated during the long hibernation, tracking the movements of every civilization that had participated in Earth's destruction. Each star system, each political structure had been meticulously analyzed. Jay's first breath was deliberate and controlled. As the preservation chamber opened, he stood with a grace that belied 50,000 years of suspended animation. Around him, the other humans began to awaken, each movement calculated and precise. "We are ready," Jay spoke, his voice carrying the weight of generations. "The Galactic Council will learn that humanity is not so easily forgotten." The station's hidden engines began to pulse with an energy that defied current understanding of physics. Quantum drives hummed to life, preparing for a journey that would rewrite galactic history. Humanity was no longer just a memory, they were about to become a force of reckoning. As the first light of activation spread across the station, 30 pairs of eyes opened, each reflecting the same unbreakable spirit, the same determination. The forgotten remnant was awake, and the galaxy would soon remember why humans were once feared. In the heart of the hidden station, Hyun Choi stood before a massive holographic display, his fingers dancing across quantum interfaces that seemed to breathe with living technology. The first prototype of humanity's new warship materialized before him, a vessel that defied everything the current galactic civilization understood about space travel. The ship was unlike any previous human or alien design. Its hull shimmered with adaptive molecular structures that could change composition in milliseconds. Where traditional ships had rigid metal frames, this vessel was more like a living organism capable of shifting, healing, and transforming faster than any known weapon could track. Yoon Kim approached, her diagnostic tools scanning every microscopic detail of the ship's systems. Quantum adaptive capabilities at 99.7%, she reported, her voice calm but filled with an underlying excitement. This was more than just a spacecraft, it was a statement of human potential. The neural network of the ship was its most revolutionary feature. Connected directly to the human pilots through advanced neural interfaces, the vessel became an extension of human consciousness. Thoughts could become weapon systems, tactical decisions could be processed faster than any biological computer could comprehend. During a test simulation, Jay Park sat in the primary control center. His mind connected to the ship's systems, and suddenly, the entire vessel became an extension of his consciousness. He could feel every molecular movement, predict enemy trajectories before they even occurred, and execute combat maneuvers that would seem impossible to any other species. The ship could phase through matter, a technology so advanced it seemed like magic. Solid objects became permeable, energy shields dissolved like mist, and traditional defensive systems became completely useless. Where an alien battleship would take minutes to calculate a single jump, this human vessel could perform multiple quantum transitions in seconds. Weapons systems were equally revolutionary. Instead of traditional energy weapons, the ship used molecular disruptors that could literally unravel atomic structures. A single shot could disable entire fleets, not by destroying them, but by completely dissolving their fundamental molecular bonds. "We're not just rebuilding technology," Hyun explained to the team, "we're rewriting the fundamental understanding of what technology can be." Each system was a testament to human innovation, adaptive, intelligent, and utterly unpredictable. Communication systems worked differently too. The ship could intercept and translate any known galactic communication frequency, while simultaneously broadcasting on channels that would be invisible to other civilizations. Information became both a weapon and a shield. Propulsion was another marvel. Traditional faster-than-light travel involved massive energy expenditures and complex calculations. This ship could fold space itself, creating shortcuts that made previous faster-than-light technologies look like primitive horse carriages. During the first full system test, the ship performed beyond all expectations. It moved like liquid mercury, changed directions without inertial stress, and demonstrated capabilities that would make any alien scientific community question everything they knew about physics. "The Galactic Council thinks they destroyed humanity," Jay said, watching the ship's holographic representation, "but they only gave us time to become something they cannot comprehend." Each team member understood the significance of this moment. This wasn't just a technological breakthrough, it was humanity's declaration that they were not just survivors, but evolutionary masters of technology and adaptation. The ship's final test involved a complex series of quantum transitions through an asteroid field. Where any other vessel would be destroyed, this human prototype danced through the dangerous space, its molecular structure shifting and adapting with each potential collision. As the test concluded, Hyun looked at his team. 30 humans who represented the pinnacle of human potential, genetically enhanced, technologically integrated, and driven by a purpose that burned brighter than any star. "We are ready," he said simply. The ship pulsed in response, a living machine that was more than metal and circuits. It was the embodiment of human resilience, innovation, and an unbreakable spirit of survival. The technological renaissance had begun, and the galaxy was about to witness a revolution unlike anything in its recorded history. Sue Park moved like liquid shadow through the central communication hub of the Galactic Council's primary administrative station. Her genetic modifications were beyond anything the current civilization could detect. Layers of holographic camouflage and molecular restructuring allowed her to become virtually undetectable. Each step was calculated, each movement a precise dance of infiltration. The neural implant at the base of her skull connected her to a massive information network, processing millions of data points every second. She wasn't just a spy, she was a living, breathing virus designed to dismantle an entire galactic political system. Her first target was the Communication Control Center. With a slight touch on a quantum interface, she began inserting microscopic data disruption algorithms. These weren't simple viruses, but intelligent systems that could learn, adapt, and spread like a living organism through the Galactic Council's most secure networks. Political files began to shift. Confidential communications were subtly altered. Diplomatic messages between different alien civilizations started to create microscopic tensions. A minor communication here, a slightly modified report there, each change was so small that no single system would detect the manipulation. In the central government halls, alien administrators began to notice strange inconsistencies. Military reports contradicted diplomatic communications. Trade agreements seemed to have hidden clauses that no one remembered writing. Trust began to erode, and nobody could explain why. Han Choi monitored the infiltration from the hidden human station. Each action was part of a larger strategy, not to destroy, but to systematically weaken the Galactic Council's internal structures. "We're not breaking their system," he explained to Jay, "we're making them break themselves." The genetic modifications allowed Sue to access any security system. Her DNA could temporarily reshape to match any required genetic signature. Where traditional spies would need complex disguises, she could literally become whoever she needed to be, complete with matching genetic markers and neural signatures. Communication channels between different alien civilizations began to collapse. Minor diplomatic tensions that had been suppressed for centuries suddenly found new fuel. Old conflicts that were carefully managed now found themselves reignited by seemingly innocent information shifts. One particularly complex operation involved the primary military communication network of the Zorn Collective, one of the most powerful members of the Galactic Council. Sue inserted a series of quantum encrypted algorithms that would slowly redirect military communication protocols. The brilliance of the infiltration was its subtlety. No single action could be traced back to human intervention. It was like a perfectly designed virus that made the host destroy itself from within, without ever knowing the source of its destruction. Political alliances that had stood for thousands of years began to crack. Trade agreements became battlegrounds. Military commanders found themselves questioning long-standing protocols. The entire galactic political structure was being systematically destabilized, one microscopic interaction at a time. Jay watched the progression with calculated patience. "We are not just returning," he told his team, "we are reshaping the entire political landscape that destroyed our civilization." Each human operative was a master of this subtle warfare. Where traditional military might rely on weapons and direct confrontation, these humans were using information, psychology, and precise technological manipulation as their primary weapons. The Galactic Council's advanced monitoring systems, which had been designed to detect any external threat, were completely blind to this infiltration. The humans had studied every weakness, every potential detection method, and created systems that could slip through these defenses like ghosts. As days passed, the first visible cracks in the galactic political structure began to appear. Minor conflicts escalated. Long-standing diplomatic relationships began to crumble. And nowhere could anyone point to a specific reason why. Sue Park continued her work, a silent architect of chaos. Each movement, each data manipulation was bringing humanity closer to their ultimate goal, total systemic collapse of the civilization that had once believed it had completely destroyed them. The strategic infiltration was more than a military operation. It was a surgical, precise dismantling of an entire galactic political system, done so carefully that the system would destroy itself without ever knowing the true source of its destruction. The quantum tunnels erupted with a silence that was more terrifying than any sound. Jay's flagship, the Eternal Earth, emerged like a phantom of vengeance, its adaptive hull reflecting nothing, absorbing everything. Around it, 30 human warships materialized, each a technological nightmare for the unprepared alien civilizations. The first target was the Centauri Prime, the central administrative world of the Galactic Council's most powerful sector. Defense systems that had stood unbroken for millennia simply ceased to exist. The human ships moved like liquid shadows, passing through energy shields as if they were nothing more than mist. Hyun Choi's targeting systems were beyond comprehension. Where traditional warfare required complex calculations and multiple attack vectors, these human weapons could predict and neutralize threats before they even materialized. Entire planetary defense networks collapsed within milliseconds. The first wave of attacks was not about destruction, but demonstration. Each strike was a surgical precision that showed the absolute technological superiority of humanity. Cities didn't burn, they simply ceased to exist, transformed into molecular dust without explosive aftermath. Alien communication channels erupted in panic. Military commanders watched in horror as their most advanced systems became completely useless. Defensive platforms that had protected civilizations for thousands of years simply stopped functioning, their complex technologies unraveled by human quantum disruption. Sue Park led the neural infiltration teams. While physical attacks happened, she and her specialized units were destroying communication infrastructures, turning alien military systems against themselves. Entire planetary defense networks began attacking their own installations, controlled by microscopic neural algorithms. The human strategy was calculated and cold. They weren't seeking total annihilation, but complete psychological destruction. Each attack was designed to show how completely outmatched the Galactic Council had become. Their technological gap was so massive that resistance seemed impossible. Planetary shields that once protected entire worlds became transparent barriers. Weapon systems designed to stop invasions simply powered down. The human ships moved through defensive lines like they were moving through empty space, leaving no trace of their passage except total systemic collapse. Jay watched the progression with calculated precision. "We are not conquerors," he communicated to his fleet, "we are justice manifested through technology." Each attack was a message, a reminder of the civilization that was once considered extinct. The most shocking aspect of the campaign was its efficiency. Where traditional warfare would require massive energy expenditures and complex logistics, these human attacks consumed minimal resources. A single human ship could neutralize entire planetary defense systems in minutes. Alien leadership watched in complete confusion. Their most advanced tracking systems couldn't even determine the origin of the attacks. The human ships appeared, neutralized systems, and disappeared faster than any computer could process the information. Multiple star systems fell within hours. Not through destruction, but through complete technological neutralization. Entire civilizations found themselves suddenly defenseless, their most advanced technologies rendered completely useless. The psychological impact was devastating. The Galactic Council had believed humanity was completely destroyed 50,000 years ago. Now, they were witnessing a technological resurrection that challenged everything they understood about warfare, technology, and survival. Weapon systems became useless. Communication networks collapsed. Planetary defenses turned into silent monuments of technological defeat. The humans moved through space like quantum ghosts, leaving behind only confusion and a terrifying message of technological superiority. Each attack was carefully calculated to show maximum technological difference. It wasn't about killing, it was about demonstrating how completely outclassed the current galactic civilizations had become. Humanity wasn't just returning, they were showing why they were once feared. By the campaign's third day, 15 major galactic sectors had been completely neutralized. Not destroyed, but systematically rendered defenseless. The human fleet moved with a precision that seemed almost supernatural, their technology so advanced it appeared like magic to the watching alien civilizations. Jay's final communication was simple and direct: "We are humanity. We do not forget. We do not forgive. We have returned." The Retribution campaign was more than a military operation. It was a statement, a cosmic declaration that humanity was not just surviving, but had become something far beyond what any civilization could comprehend. The central chamber of the Galactic Council trembled with an unspoken terror. Holographic displays showed the complete collapse of their defensive systems, each screen revealing another shattered civilization. Jay Park's face appeared not as a conqueror, but as a cold messenger of cosmic judgment. 50,000 years ago, his voice cut through every communication channel, your civilizations decided humanity was a threat that needed complete extinction. Today, we prove that decision was your greatest mistake. The chamber's alien leaders watched in silent horror. Representatives from hundreds of star systems sat frozen, their most advanced technologies rendered completely useless by human quantum systems. Where once they controlled vast galactic territories, now they controlled nothing. Yoon Kim stood beside Jay, her hand controlling massive holographic displays that showed the complete technological superiority of human systems. Each graph, each data point was a brutal demonstration of how far humanity had evolved during their hidden reconstruction. "We are not here to destroy," Jay continued, "we are here to demonstrate why humanity was always meant to survive." The message was clear: this was not about revenge, but about proving their right to exist. The human fleet surrounded the Galactic Council's primary station. 30 ships that could phase through matter, destroy entire planetary systems with a thought, and manipulate quantum realities beyond current scientific understanding. They were not just a military force, they were a technological revolution. Han Choi's communication systems intercepted every possible defensive channel. The aliens could not communicate, could not organize, could not even understand the level of technological superiority they were witnessing. Humanity had become something far beyond their original biological limitations. Each alien civilization was given a choice: complete submission and recognition of human sovereignty, or total systemic destruction. The humans had no interest in ruling, they wanted acknowledgement. They wanted the galaxy to understand that humanity was not a species to be erased. The psychological warfare was more devastating than any physical attack. The human fleet showed they could destroy everything, but chose strategic demonstration instead. Each action was calculated to show maximum technological difference without complete annihilation. Supark managed the final infiltration protocols. Quantum algorithms continued to disrupt any potential resistance, turning alien systems against themselves. The humans had studied every possible defensive strategy, every potential counterattack, and had prepared countermeasures for each scenario. "We are the species you believed you destroyed," Jay's final message resonated across quantum communication channels. "We are what happens when a civilization refuses to be erased. We are humanity." The Galactic Council's leaders looked at each other, realizing the complete hopelessness of their situation. Their most advanced technologies were nothing more than primitive tools compared to human quantum systems. Resistance was not just futile, it was mathematically impossible. One by one, alien civilizations began transmitting their unconditional surrender. Not through traditional communication protocols, but through quantum signatures that demonstrated complete technological submission. Humanity had not just returned, they had rewritten the entire understanding of galactic power structures. Han watched the final surrender protocols with a calm precision. This was not about hatred or destruction, but about proving humanity's fundamental right to exist. Each system that surrendered was another acknowledgement of human potential. The human fleet didn't celebrate. They had no interest in traditional concepts of victory. This was a cosmic reckoning, a moment where a species once considered extinct demonstrated why they were always meant to survive. As communication channels finalized the surrender, Jay looked at his team. 30 humans who represented the pinnacle of human potential, genetically enhanced, technologically integrated, and driven by a purpose that burned brighter than any star. "We are home," he simply said. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had not just returned, they had become something far beyond any civilization's comprehension. A species that could be destroyed, but never truly eliminated. A technological phoenix that would forever change the understanding of survival, adaptation, and cosmic potential. The cosmic reckoning was complete. Humanity had won.